I recently visited one of the shopping malls in Bangalore, and looking at the beautiful Christmas decor all around, my mind automatically devolved back 6 months ago in those peaks of an underwater mountain range protruding from the water in the middle of Bay of Bengal, the Andaman Islands, one of the most isolated spots on this planet. After all, our last Paleolithic ancestors are also going to celebrate Badadin, or Christmas there, in a unique fashion. While this once nearly unapproachable place has opened up for travelers in the last decade, this place still contains 6 anthropologically different, highly protected, and vulnerable tribes. One of those indigenous tribes of African descent is the Nicobarese, the friendliest and assimilated of the lot. Many of them celebrate Christmas, where everyone from their village presents some production to the community on the village stage. The favorite offering for the community is Nicobari aloo, which is deemed as anti-carcinogenic by researchers. This is followed by a ceremony in January, during which a shaman will be called to pray for increased yields, accompanied by a communal feast coupled with singing and dancing. Specific rituals are kept to mark events such as the first sailing of a canoe. During Hanuchira ritual, which is the worship of the canoe before it sets out on its maiden voyage, the shaman enters the house of the canoe's owner. He sets out a green coconut and covers it with bitter leaf. This is followed by sacrificing a chicken. The shaman marks the coconut and bitter leaf with the chicken's blood while chanting spells. A boy is sent to stand in one end of the canoe. He grasps a stick in the middle with both hands so that it is horizontal and aligned at a right angle to the hull. Starting at one end, he walks the length of the canoe, moving the stick up and down so it touches the two side walls of the boat. He chants incantations while doing this. The coconut and bitter leaf are then placed in the canoe. The ritual ends with the slaughter of a pig and a feast for the relatives. The shaman receives the leg of the pig for his part in the ritual. Many such interesting supernatural beliefs are still ingrained in tribal lives everywhere. And if this sounds far from what we call as civilization, let me tell you that many believe that Christmas is a ripoff of an original seven-day pagan festival, Saturnalia, which is about worship of god Saturn and, according to many historians, full of questionable practices. To mark the end of winter solstice and make Christianity more palatable to the Romans, Roman Emperor established 25th December as a feast to Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. Later, Church co-opted these pagan festivals and put the celebration of birth of their savior on the same day. Of course, many don't think it's true. Be that as it may, I wondered where from such practices of animal sacrifice as part of a ritual started in our world. And so I did some research. Apparently, it started as part of ancient Celtic religion, and the idea was to transfer life force to the other world to please gods. Establishing a channel of communication to the other world became part of every religious beliefs eventually, but I think it's the weight of collective human guilt about our own ideas of bad deeds that led to such practices. Or somewhere someone started believing that if one life form was intentionally taken, not as a hunt to satiate hunger, but just as a pursuit, then the death became no longer under the paradigm of an unseen force, but in human control. The uncontrollable force that they feared a great deal of no longer remains at the control seat. And for Homo sapiens, who just invented fire and moved from middle to top of the food chain, creating a sudden shock to the ecosystem, giving no time to those who were formerly below us, like fish and insects, and those who were formerly above us, like tigers and rhinos, it was too easy to make those on the sacrificial pair who couldn't stand up for themselves. Also, there was a practical use of community meat consumption, leading to increased social cohesion, bonding, further guilt, and perceived moral downfall. Come to think of it, this is why we enjoy festivals even today, to have good food and to get some breather from our regular life when we can spend some quality time doing whatever we want, followed by a strange sense of vacuum, almost a remorse. I'm a meat eater too, and I don't believe in cruelty-free deaths to assuage my conscience. We can't let food chain argument to bear the brunt of our moral compunction either, because we have hunted down carnivores, showcased their skin and teeth in our drawing rooms, bored them, and artificially increased cattle population to satisfy demands. But like most eaters, we don't eat meat to please anyone other than our own taste buds. So there's no hidden danger of organized superstition in that act at least. It is estimated that 250,000 animals were sacrificed during the Gadhimai festival of 2009, which is a century-old religious festival held every 5 years in Nepal, world's largest animal sacrifice event. Many resounding voices of protest couldn't stop it. I think at the root of all religion is humanity's terrible and mostly unspoken fear of death, ironically leading to more deaths. The genuine interest in exploring about cosmic forces, the sense of natural awe and respect for such a grand creative energy got usurped by deep-seated fear of ephemerality and ego-driven narratives of "Mandir yahi banega." No wonder, while Andaman tribes got lot to teach us, they believe that they got almost nothing to learn from our civilization.
It's fine if your take on ritualistic religion is vastly different than that of mine. And let me know about your thoughts and what you think of my content, which I suddenly feel driven to make. As long as your opinions are not divisive and hateful, I'm curious to know about your takes. And did you check my Andamania playlist? I have made many shorts rather than these 7 videos in long format. While in this one, I tried to make a long format video, but at the same time, it's much shorter than my typical content length. For me, the subject decides the duration, but let me know if there's a sweet spot beyond which you do not like to watch an YouTube video. Not because I will always try to adhere to it, but then I will try to come up with interesting content to make you happily change that threshold. Join me in this journey called Andamania. When I visited this place, I never thought of creating a YouTube channel, and so I'm thankful for the kind of inspiration that this place has provided me. And same for all of your nice, encouraging, and constructively critical comments. And suddenly I have 26 videos in my channel, which is something I couldn't have possibly imagined considering the fact that I make videos in my limited spare time and started this channel just 5 months ago. I'm putting in serious hard work and research to offer you gripping material single-handedly. And if you like my work, I would request you to put a vote for my channel in your social media. Thank you again for your support, and next year we will certainly have more content beyond Andaman. But Andamania, well, it's not going to stop anytime soon.